I was up late last night. I watched the Cougars.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. What a game.
It's like I doing Fallon a 3-point shooter.
What is Vegas doing, giving the Cougars 13 points?
Yeah, that was kind of candy right there.
That was weird. That was, it's one thing to run numbers and have a computer say it. It's another to actually give that out. If you haven't followed Washington State at all, Kyle Smith teams, they're never out of it.
No.
That's a tough team. Like, that was my first game watching, like, complete start to complete end. I've watched bits and parts of Washington State throughout the year. I've watched them when they've taken on Oregon State teams. But, like, watching them on the road in Arizona, man, to do what they did, they had a halftime lead. They don't lose halftime leads. When they're up at half, they're winning the game. Their record is overwhelming in that spot. And for them to come out in the second half, Arizona came out early, punched them right back, was like, hey, we're taking a lead here. They just, I don't know, they have a composure about them. You don't feel like they're panicking. It's just like, yeah, we're down 5. We're down 6. Who cares? And they'll hit a timely 3 or they'll get a timely stop. And last night, back and forth battle, Jalen Williams gets the ball. They're down 3. He hits the 3, tie it, boom, foul, 4-point play to put Washington State up at the end of the game. They get a couple stops. Caleb Love travels, slips on the floor, and Kyle Smith and Washington State SWAC go to Arizona and win and are now in first place.
They're the 1 seed. They swept Arizona this season, handed them their first home loss of the season.
Yes, they did.
Arizona's still in position to be a number 1 seed potentially, but this should get the selection committee's attention. Wazoo should be, unless they do a pratfall somewhere, be a top 4 seed.
Well, I was listening to the FS1 call, and I forget the guys on the call, but I thought they made a good point. Like, if they win this game, and this was obviously before they had won it, if they win this game, I know they're 21st, but you probably make an argument they're a top 10 team in the country right now.
Yeah, they should get, and if they get to the Pac-12 title game, they should be a top 4 seed.
I don't know how he's doing this, and I don't mean to take any credit away from the players. The players are the ones executing everything. The fact that guy, who was clearly a good coach coming from San Francisco, and had a nice start, and then has his roster, torn apart a little bit from transfer portal stuff, to still piece this together and be 12-4 in conference and 21-6 and now first place in the Pac-12. We're looking at coach of the year stuff in college basketball.
Yeah.
I think what last night did, Kyle Smith's known to people who follow the sport. I've known his name since the WCC when you're like, oh, that team's good. And then you hear about the coach and he goes to Washington State and he starts being successful there. Last night, winning at Arizona is one of the few that, like, when a team visiting wins there.
That's one of the toughest. That's up there with Fog Allen Fieldhouse and Rupp Arena and those places.
It's massive. Like, and you saw it, like the narrative and the noise now. Washington State's kind of the team of the moment. Everybody's talking about them. And Kyle Smith is probably the front runner for coach of the year in college hoops.
They got to follow it up with a win in Tempe.
Well, that's going to be easy because Arizona State sucks.
Don't let Bobby Hurley get you.
He's going to get fired. Although Michelle Gardner, who covers that team, wrote an article about why he should come back, and I'm like, what has he done? I know I think they've gone to the tournament a couple times, but like, have they won a game? I don't know. His brother's killing it in UConn.
Yeah,
his
brother's killing it in UConn.
So they should be able to beat Arizona State, but a massive win that was a fun night of hoops watching Washington State go to Arizona and pull that up. I was texting with Patrick, who's obviously a diehard Coug fan, and I kind of felt like the announcers were being a little biased at different points. Like, every time Arizona got a foul, it was like, of course, that's an easy foul. And if Washington State got a foul, I was like, I don't know about that one. And then finally they kind of changed the vibe of their broadcast at the end. But man, Jalen Williams to hit, to hit that corner 3, unbelievable. And Washington State now 21-6, top of the Pac-12 standings with a win, and they should be able to finish this thing off by beating Arizona State. This is, it's hard to project what certain teams are going to be in the tournament. It's so matchup dependent. But we'll have David Codd this at 7:30. He's going to join us from CBS Sports. What seed are we looking at here?
It's going to be tough. Their non-conference isn't the most daunting schedule in the world. Um,
Yeah, but sweeping the Arizona schools does a lot.
so that helps significantly. Um, they lost at Utah, at Colorado. They lost to the Ducks at home. Um, so they're one SEC team they lost against Mississippi State,
Mm.
and they lost to Santa Clara.
You think they're a top 3 team if they can win the conference?
Top 3 seed?
Yeah.
I don't know if they can get all the way to a 3 seed. 4, 5, I think
4 is as high as you think they
probably
get?
where they'll get unless they win the conference. So they got Arizona State. Their last 3 are at home. USC, UCLA, and Washington.
I mean, those are all games that if they're at
They
home, they can
should.
win
They're
those
at
games.
home. They should win, but I don't think any of those wins are going to do you anything special in the net rating and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that
So,
would if they could take care of their business and win their final 4 games, 25-6 atop the Pac-12 going into conference
I think they
tournament.
need to finish it off in the conference tournament. They'll have all eyes on them in the conference tournament.
I agree with that.
In that tournament setting, in
Yeah.
a neutral site, and go in there and take care of business. So if they get all the way to the title game, if they play another close game with Arizona, and whether they win or lose, I think right there in that 4-5 range, it would be tough to get to 3. I think for them.
Can I tell you a really ugly thing that I thought about yesterday after they won? And this is just, unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
My mind kept going, what school is going to throw an absolute stupid bag at this man?
Oh, no, there's no question. I mean, and especially considering Washington State's current state
I
of
know.
purgatory.
He wanted to get out of the WCC, and now his team's going to be in the WCC next year.
Yeah.
I hope he stays. I sincerely don't bring it up to be rude.
No.
I want him to stay there.
It would be great if he could stay and have a chance to build that. And, I don't know if they got a deep run in the NCAA tournament, if that means anything in putting together a power conference in 3 years. I have no idea.
Yeah, but if you're a Kyle Smith, do you want to wait 3 years for some conference thing to figure itself out? Or do
Well, I
you
think part of it too is, can he keep his roster together? If he keeps his roster together,
he did
then,
this year, and he still figures it out. Like that's good coaching.
but yeah, if somebody comes and throws a bag at him, what are
Like
you gonna-
Ohio State comes calling,
Yeah.
yo, we can win. We
What are
have
you
the
gonna do?
resources. Come be in the Big Ten.
Well, even if Arizona State, if Hurley goes and Arizona State
yeah,
going to the Big 12,
sure.
or as you look at that and you look at what Arizona State's going, we're going to the Big 12 that now has Kansas and
Houston.
and
yeah.
do I want to get my brains beat in every night?
Yeah.
Or
But a coach like that isn't operating in that.
no, I
thought.
understand that, but also there's still Gonzaga, there's still St. Mary's. It's not like you're not in the big sky.
Yeah.
You're on TV some. So I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in.
It is a tough spot to be in, but I'm pulling for him to stay there, and I'm pulling for him right now. They're a fun story in college basketball.